Well, greetings, everyone, and welcome to a very special online event today. It's called Discover Maori Shamanic Wisdom. Reclaim your essence, personal power, and history through working with your ancestral roots and rivers. My name is Stephen Dyna. I'm the founder and president of the Shift Network, and I'm really blessed to be with you here because the Maori traditional knowledge and wisdom is really important for our world, and it's not something we've actually had a teacher featured on the Shift Network who's really explored in depth. And we're going to get a chance to dive in with a very respected and revered elder within this lineage. Her name is Grandmother Moetu-Taiha. She's an international transformational leader and member of the Grandmothers of the Sacred We and Grandmothers Circle the Earth. She's also a dear friend and ally of Grandmother Flor Mayo, who's taught many times for Shift and just says amazing things about her. So Grandmother Moetu, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Kia ora. Yeah, I just want to introduce myself the way that we do in our culture, and how we're taught from little ones, from as babies. Ko maunga poha te te maunga, tauranga te awa, te uruwera te kaina, tūhoi te iwi, te Aotearoa, te whenua, ko Moetu-Taiha ahau. So greetings, kei te mihi, kei te mihi, kei te mihi kia koutou. Maunga Pohatu is one of my mountains, my main mountain. Tauranga is one of my rivers that flows through our land of Tūhoi, of Te Uruwera, and in the land of New Zealand, Aotearoa, and my name is Moetu-Taiha. So greetings. Thank you, Stephen.
Well, it's beautiful, and also just the quality of the language as well. And I want to jump in and ask you some questions about that introduction, since I think it leads into a lot of what we want to share today. And then, so when you say that your mountain is, so there's sort of a deeper identification or connection with a specific mountain that's part of your tradition, and maybe share a little bit why that is and how it kind of creates a different context for relating with other people and sort of locating ourselves on the planet.
Yeah, for us as people, the Indigenous people of Aotearoa, and especially for our tribe of Tūhoi, Maunga Pohatu is our ancestor. And for our tribe of Tūhoi, we don't believe that we came on the waka, on canoes. We actually understand and believe and have a deep knowing that we come from this land itself. And so Maunga Pohatu is our ancestor, is not only our physical ancestor of the land. We also have the understanding that it's also our DNA, it's our backbone. So when I talk about my mountain, I'm also talking about my spine and my ancestors that I hold within my spine, which which meets the energy of my physical mountain. And when I talk about my rivers that flow from our mountain down through our lands, it also talks about our bloodline that flows through our physical body. And when I acknowledge my land of Te Uruwera, our home, part of our land, I talk about my people, my DNA that's in my body. My tribe of Tūhoi is also all of that. Everything that is me is my land, my tribe, my people. And of course, I come from Aotearoa. My name is Moetu-Taiha, who are ancestresses. Taiha was actually my great-grandmother, so I am part of her. I hold her energy and do the mahi. Mahi is the work that she also do, but I also have claim to it myself, which I have to create in this lifetime. So the physical introduction of our landmarks of our country, our our land is also acknowledging every part that I am within me.
Mm, that's really beautiful. How do you find that? So I know you live in the United States now, and you engage with a lot of people who don't have indigenous ancestry, or at least that's not conscious of it. How do you feel that that actually shifts how you show up in the world to sort of be presencing yourself, not just as a separate self, but really as this connection to land and people and ancestry, that's really how your identity or how you show up is bit wider than just yourself. How do you find that that shifts how you relate to people?
When I travel, I travel a lot, and sometimes they're to places that I actually don't want to go to, but I'm very connected to my loved ones. I call them the loved ones because they're not only my ancestors of this timeline, they're also other beings as well. And so I go with the guidance of the loved ones, and I trust that when I get to a land, a country, it is for a specific reason. And so when I go, I always connect. I always have to have the permission of the elders of that country. So when I come to the USA, for instance, and I go on to different parts of the country, I also ask whoever is bringing me that they have an elder there to receive me, to allow me to come to their country so that I can set my feet and bring my ancestors to meet their ancestors, so that we can connect and do the mahi of whatever it is that we're needing to be doing. So meeting Fleur de Maya was a pivotal part of my journey to the USA and to the path, because that was her acreage. So it was important that we be welcomed, because they're not only welcoming me, they're welcoming my ancestors. And I'm being welcomed by their ancestors, not only their physical ones, but their land. So the land also accepts us. So it's always being able to be a part of, so that we're welcome.
I really see how when you talk about that, it kind of weaves the two lineages and geographies and lands together when you really have that conscious way of meeting. You used a term mahi, which I didn't know, and so maybe could you illuminate a little bit when the mahi of two people coming together, like what does that mean?
Yeah, mahi is in plain English means work, but when we apply it in the lighter language or the high vibrational meaning of mahi, it means the mahi of your heart, the work that resonates in your heart space. So ma is clear or pure or white, and so it's mahi that you enjoy to be a part of it. It's your purpose, basically. But no matter what you do, you have to have that intention that it's of a higher person. It's a purpose, that it's always to make self bigger or expand self, because it's always in relation to something, whether you're doing housework or gardening. It's mahi because it's about you, and you're giving your energy and you're receiving back.
It's beautiful. So it seems like by presencing the land, the rivers, mountains, and our ancestors, that it actually sort of helps to bring forward or activate more of that higher purpose of engaging whatever task we are in, is part of what I'm hearing. Is that right?
It's being connected at all times. It's not just when you pray or or in good times. It's even when you're in bad times or sad times or traumatic times, that you always have that understanding that you're not by yourself. You're not standing on your own. You're connected to Mother Earth because of this connection. And you're also connected to Father Sky. But more importantly, you're connected to your ancestors because we are our ancestors. So this is why we connect to our mountains and our rivers. And yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. Can you share a little bit more about how you sort of work with your ancestors and sort of in this mahi way? Like, are you actually invoking them in to work you're doing? Are you calling them in, asking for guidance? To just understand a little bit about how you weave your ancestry into what you're working on.
The first thing is to be grateful. The first thing I do when I wake up is to give thanks, that I'm awake, that I have another day. So I give thanks, acknowledge all the loved ones who have watched over me through the night or that I've journeyed with through my dream time. And so I give thanks to the God force, to the loved ones, my ancestors, because I don't see any separation. And so I'm talking and I'm listening. It's about being more aware of my senses, feeling the thing, the feeling, the smelling, the tasting, the hearing. It is all that part of what is talking to me at this time, whether it be the birds that are calling in the morning, or the wind, which is Tawhiri Mātea, who is doing the talking. Because for us, every season, or every like the wind, the sun, the earth are gods for us, and so we acknowledge all of that. And if we hear the wind, I say, oh, thank you, Tawhiri Mātea. What is happening today? What are you clearing today? And then you just listen. And so it's using all the senses to connect and to feel, so the prayer and the meditation part is all part of that connectedness to the loved ones, to your ancestors, because you have to connect inside. You feel it inside you, you hear it inside you. Your body is talking, not just with these physical eyes or this physical mouth. Your whole body is vibrating or feeling what is happening. The warmth that comes through, the you don't even have to be in the sun to call in the rays of the sun, because you already know what it feels like. So it's talking to Tamanui Te Rā, which is a sun god, to please, shine his light on me, shine his rays on me. So it's being aware, opening up your senses, every sense. And it's not just the hearing, seeing, feeling, it's every part of you. We're sensory beings, huh? We are taught we're gods ourselves. We're part of the God force. And so we acknowledge that God force within us. That's why we connect to our mountains and our rivers, because we also take them with us no matter where we go. And so we ourselves connect to that God force part of ourselves, that higher being part of ourselves, or that higher self, whatever name people call it. I just call it the loved ones. And so when we connect to that and become part of that, and let the mental part of us just be on the side, we take in more of that energy of our ancestors, because they're talking all the time. Our DNA is talking all the time, letting us know, that, hey, we know this place, we know this feeling, we know this. And so it's just being more aware of what our body is saying to us, what all our ancestral DNA is saying to us. Yeah.
Beautiful. I wonder if you could share a little bit about how you were raised within the Maori tradition, and like how some of the wisdom and teachings were imparted to you as just give us a little sense of like how that happened.
We're in our culture, and it still happens today. When our babies are born, especially in my childhood and times before, the child was brought up by the community and still is in a lot of ways. And so whichever tohunga, the tohunga is a shaman, and that could be the healing, the physical healing shaman, the prayer shaman, the teaching shaman. They watch the children, and they actually will watch the mother as she's carrying the child, and they already know what lineage and what the gifts are of that family, and so they will watch the child to see if they are already doing some of what they came here to do. And so that shaman will take their child and start teaching without actually knowing you're being taught. I was taught by my father, also without being told that I was being trained. And so I spent a lot of time with him, listening. I was taken with him to elders meetings. As a child, I thought it was totally boring because I would rather go and play, but he would sit me at his feet, and I was there, and my cousins, some of my cousins, not a lot, but we had to sit there and we had to watch who was talking. And you learned after a while that you weren't to talk. Every time I talked and turned around to my father, he'd just twack me on the side of the head and just go like that. And it was to watch, and not watch with these eyes, but watch with all of me. And then we'd get outside the meetings, and then him and my uncles would say, what did you see? What did you hear? And one of the things I always noticed was when somebody talked, their body didn't talk the talk that they were speaking. So we learned this without knowing it. Also, too, I was encouraged to listen to nature. I played a lot in nature. The river was our bath. We ate when we needed to. We ate from the land. We had a massive, huge garden. So we ate a lot of what was around. We were hunter-gatherers, and, fishing, eeling, but you also didn't go just when you were hungry. You always listened to what was happening around you, what was happening in nature. And so what would be classed as a good day to go fishing, one of the elders would say, no fishing today. And it's usually because he's hearing something from the sea or from the river. And so we listened to that. And you started to learn these ways of when you could go fishing, hunting. And so you lived with the land, you lived with what was happening in those times. And you listened to your body, especially to your body and to what you were feeling. Yeah. So we were brought up in it. But for myself, I was brought up in the way of being more aware of spirit. I was a sick child, so I spent a lot of time with dead people, more with dead people than live people. So it took a long time to understand that, it they were two different worlds. Yeah.
Is that part of the teachings that you inherited, is to really relate with the other world, the people no longer living, in a more kind of active and connected way?
My understanding is that it depends what you come in to learn. My understanding from myself is that I had a lot of time on my own, lying in bed. And so my ancestors, my loved ones would come and visit. And then, my great-grandfather, who's my guide, and came with me to this planet in spirit. I know him. We have a really good relationship. Never met him in life. But he'll be there to take me home when it's time. I had my understanding is that when you have this type of childhood or this growing up, you learn. There's no right way or no wrong way. But I also know that there is a want within you to connect. And I had no, I didn't have any mental thing to block me in any way. I didn't question, I just accepted. And so we had a good dialect with each other, with myself, and especially my great-grandfather. And, I understood Jesus, but I don't understand him the way that the church has portrayed him. So I believe that I accepted them, that world, because I still do it. I sometimes get caught between the worlds, and I have to really center myself to come back into this world so that I can do what I have, what I come here to do. So it's hard to explain in just a few words, but
well,
it's something from childhood. Yeah.
I appreciate you giving us a glimpse. When you were describing your upbringing and talking about really listening to nature to see about whether to fish for the day or not, this deeper sort of reciprocal or back and forth kind of connected relationship with nature. I wonder if there's anything else about just the perspective on how to have right relationship with nature, with Mother Earth, that you want to share from the Maori perspective.
Yeah. Treating, one thing that I know is treating the waterways as if they were part of your physical body, having respect for life, for our trees, and for everything, acknowledging that nature is us. We are nature. And when people talk about, we have to look after Mother Nature, I look at it the other way. I see it the other way, is that when I can look after myself, when I can acknowledge myself, then I'm the conduit between the two, between the rangi, who's Sky Father, and Papa, our Mother Earth. And so I'm the conduit. And when I am able to be well in myself, I'm able to pass it through to Papa, and she passes it back to me. And so it's this whole, the DNA is a spiral. And so we're doing that all the time. And this is what I know we're becoming more of. There's no separateness between us and Papa and Rangi and Papa. We're connected. So how we look after ourselves is also how we look after each other. our and our father.
I love
Yeah.
that. It's like just really seeing ourselves as the conduit. And it's a beautiful
Mm.
to call father Papa too. It's just sort of the intimacy is really
No, it's mother, Papa. Papa Tūnuku. Papa Tūnuku means the
oh, that
great
actually
shapeshifter. Yeah. E
also actually means mother.
rangi.
Oh,
Yeah, Papa Tūnuku. Papa Tūnuku means the great shapeshifter, our
uh,
mother, our planet. Yeah.
oh, great. I somehow I missed that. Sorry. But yeah, it's beautiful. The intimacy of that and the sweetness of it, the way you speak it as being a conduit between. And so I wonder if you can speak a little bit to the sort of healing of our ancestry too, because there was one time there's a fellow named Sequoia Trueblood from the United States that was said his understanding is we incarnate to transform the unresolved issues of our ancestors or something like he said something like that. And I wonder if this whole perspective where our ancestors are really present, just how to relate to anything that's unresolved that needs healing within our ancestral river and lineage, you know.
Yeah. This I've spent most of my life doing this in my family, not only in my family, but also in past lifetimes. My mum passed with cancer, and so I had to and then I also had cancer. My sister passed with cancer, another brother passed with cancer, and so it was something strong in our lineage. And so, with the help of my ancestors, and because the great three, yeah, it came from her, and it was a hurt, a heart hurt that actually when we did it, when we went through it, it came down through our lineage. So it was something that needed to be healed. That and I'd actually said that I would take it and would mahi it. And so I I also knew that I wouldn't die from cancer, but I knew that it had to end. And so a lot of diseases or illnesses are sometimes from our ancestors that we help, that we clear, like a lot of traumas. I also believe that our our time, we have actually we came here and said we will mahi whatever needs to be finished. But this is only happening with ones that are awake or still awake. These are words I don't like using. I have a better word in Maori, but
What is the word in Maori?
te whakatika. It means to make right, and pure, which means to clear. And so we have to do that inner mahi of going back into our own system and through the lineage to find out where the original hurt came from. This is how it was before. I don't believe we have to do this anymore. I believe that because the energies are so much more higher, fifth dimensional stuff, so we're able to do it a lot faster than how we were doing it. And so it's just being aware of it now and just clearing a whole lot of the energy of it, because my knowing and what I've been sharing is that we're here to finish off all of that, because our babies that are coming in, they're not coming in to clear any old rubbish. They're here to make a difference. They already know what they came for. They already have their purpose. If yeah, if they are allowed to, yeah, if they are not educated out of their purpose. So a lot of that is when more people are waking up to knowing this, and more people are getting back to the light language of the original language and looking for the higher frequencies of their language, which actually activates a whole lot of other energies. So this is why I love my language so much. This is why I love my knowing of my mountain, my river, my land, and myself, is because connecting to that gives me that energy that I can go anywhere in the world and still be connected to home.
I love
Because
that.
we have the same Sky Father and the same Papa wherever we go.
I love that. And so it's sort of if I'm hearing you right, it's that the Maori language also just carries certain energies and light frequencies that help us with this remembrance, with remembering our sacred purpose, with our remembering our lineages as well.
It's also our names. You know, when we can understand what our names really mean, what the frequency of the vowels mean, then it opens up a whole other part of us. It's a key to something more than what a flat, basic word is, you know, because a lot of people think of their names as just a word, you know, it's just a name. But actually, when you can understand that it's a frequency, our name is a frequency, and like our language, when you know how to take those words that you're talking in, you know, so this is why it's becoming also more clear to be aware of the words that you're using, because it hits here first before it goes out. So this is why our, you know, that whole connection to self.
Yeah, really, really profound insights and wisdom. So thank you for sharing what you've already shared. I kind of want to circle back to what you're saying about that this is a new time that we're entering, where there's a sort of an elevation. You mentioned fifth dimensional. I know a lot of different indigenous traditions have prophecies around this time, or understandings about a kind of a deeper shift of the planet. That's a lot about what shift is all about. So I'm just curious if you want to share anything about from you've inherited, about sort of seeing this time that we're in and transitions that we're in that might be helpful.
Yeah. We always knew that this time was coming, and talking with other indigenous cultures, because I also traveled to visit other cultures, we knew that this time was coming of when we will end up on this wave, this whole wave. And my understanding is when the great central sun, which we call the God force, comes from behind the sun, and that it will be the time when it is time to speak out. It's a time when we will share our knowledge, speak just by being somewhere. It's not always about speaking from the mouth, but speaking with the energy of and the frequency of our body, just by being in certain places and being activated and doing the activating. So I've always been aware that this time would come, and for these last, since 2012 especially, this has been my life journey, not because I physically chose it, but it was something that I knew. But since 2012, I was made aware that we were doing this clearing from 2012 to 2018, and that there would come a time that we are going to make decisions about, are we going to do this mahi, or are we going to step back, because there are others that are ready to step forward. So we know as people, as our people, that we have to mahi. And we have been I can only speak for my tribe. We have been doing our mahi, especially as a community, as a culture, to strengthen ourselves through connection more to our loved ones, to be ready for this time, because it's not just about being mentally aware, but being holistically aware, being holistically connected to everything, so that the frequency that we can rise to makes it easier to connect to what's coming in. And the sad part is that people are getting caught up in other things, and I'm being told now, but it's important that we just keep going. Yeah, my great grandfather was saying to me, keep going, Moetu, just keep going, don't wait, just keep going.
Love that.
So it's just trusting that guidance from the loved ones to go, to keep doing the mahi.
Keep doing the mahi. Beautiful.
Keep doing the mahi.
Yeah. So one other question that I'd love for you to just reflect on a little bit. So most of people who are watching this probably don't have the same strength of connection to the land or their ancestry. And so if they feel more disconnected from the roots and rivers and all that we've discussed, how have you seen that they best reconnect with those so that they're really feeling that sense of connection to their own ancestral roots and rivers?
Yeah. I've been doing the mahi in Germany for quite some time now. And, a lot of my German friends, when I met them, they didn't want to be German. They didn't tell anybody but they're German. And so I'm saying to everybody, like I said to them, we chose the country that we were born in. We chose it for a reason. And so your purpose is to find out what that reason is. And so it's important to have that love, to build that love, because if you can't accept where you are, then you're not accepting part of yourself. And so to build that, because it's all about self-love. And so it's important to start connecting, to land first, because that's you. If you have a little place or a flat, take more notice of your home and clean it and tidy it and make it beautiful, because it makes you feel more tidy and beautiful. So start with little things like that, make a little altar for yourself that you can look at, that you can build on. Put your special items there, and be aware that that's also what's happening within you. You're building and strengthening your own altar, which is your heart. So and then start looking at what else you can do to be more connected. Because first you have to build up yourself and start connecting to where you are. And it is about your parents. We chose our parents for a lesson, for an experience, and the experiences are actually to help us to grow. We came here to grow and to experience and to love. Love is the main thing. And so we're all learning that self-love, and all of it is about self-confidence, self-esteem, and having that connectedness to self. So I suggest, and I make that, but also too, if that's too much, then look around you. What is the mountain that you can look at, that you can feel that it's at your back, or in the river,
So Grandmother Moetu, you're just wonderfully wise, and it's really clear just that you really walk your talk, and what you're teaching just feels like very alive and present in how you show up. So I want to talk about your upcoming program because I do think it's a very unique opportunity for folks around the world to learn from you, to really receive this wisdom and be able to really reclaim our own ancestral roots and rivers and show up with that sense of rooted connection and also an ability to do mahi with what we've inherited and to help transmute some of what needs to be transmuted for us all to shift into a higher possibility. So the program that Grandmother Moetu has agreed to teach, we're calling Maori Shamanic Wisdom. Reclaim the rich history of your ancestral roots and rivers to embody your true essence and personal power. And you can find it at maorishamanicwisdom.com, maorishamanicwisdom.com. It's a 7-week program and is really going to be a wisdom circle, a sharing, a deep connection where you get to receive from Grandmother Moetu's perspective and wisdom and tradition, but it's also a co-creative space, and it's going to flow organically in different ways, but also how transmit some very deep wisdom from her lineage and from her own life experience. So Grandmother Moetu, I'd love for you to share just some of your intentions you have for this 7-week program with you, or 7-week wisdom circle, and then I'll read out the module titles so you give us a little preview of what's coming in each.
Yeah. As I said, and one of the things that I will teach is how you become more connected to your own waters and to your rivers, and how to what that actually means for your spirit. We call it wairua. Wairua means 2 rivers, 2 waters. So, also how to connect to our land itself, how to be, there's so much. It's, if you let me waffle on, then it's never ending.
I know you have a lot to share. So module 1 is called Discover Mana Wa Ora, to awaken your heart and yourself.
Mana means the power, the heart power, because and manawa is actually the heart. So it's the radiance of the heart energy, and ora is the wellness, the well-being of self. And so it's everything that you are in relationship to everything outside you and inside you. You're not separate from. So manawa ora is, and it's just a little word, but it encompasses your whole world. So it's learning about yourself, and your everything in relationship to yourself.
Module 2 is called Create Your Papeha to Cultivate Personal Power.
Pepeha is what I did when I talked about my mountain, my rivers, my land. It is which mountain do you connect to? Which river do you connect to? Which land do you connect to? So that you understand that you have that mountain in your back, and you start understanding that the land that you came from, your ancestors came from, is also part of you. So your pepeha is pepe is baby. So basically from your womb, from the womb you come and you start building your pepeha, your who you become, as in your ha, your breath, your being, your power and self.
Module 3, realize your radiant potential as you illuminate the light within.
That's all of the understanding that you are more than what you are, and understanding your name and the words and the connection to Mother Earth and Father Sky.
Module 4, navigate cosmic dimensions to deeply connect with God Force.
it's a whole different dimension. You know, we talk about the other energies that come in. The Pleiadians at the moment, we're in Matariki, which is for us is our new world, our new beginning. It's a new year for us, so it's acknowledging all that have gone before us and all that come into us. So it's all part, again, an expanded part of self, another cosmos. Yeah.
Module 5, Maori holistic living practices for whole being wellness and a deeper relationship with your ancestors.
Yeah, that's about having that connectedness again to yourself and a deeper understanding, you know, the different traits of yourself, the different feelings within yourself, and, you know, understanding things like depression and what that means to self, not to the head, but to self.
Module 6, embody the sacred qualities of the elements for healing and balance.
Knowing that what the elements mean in its entirety. When a good way to understand that is that when you see a child and they're behaving, you know, like if one is angry, and so for us that can be the fire god, you know, that is all angry and heated up. So how would you calm that down? Which energy do you need to calm that down? Or do you need that energy just to burn out on its own? So it's all that emotional understanding of everything has energy. And so it's understanding the energy of different behaviors and selves.
And finally, Module 7, receive blessings for empowered radiance.
Yeah, it's that's about prayer and really understanding the how that happens when you activate that energy of prayer, when you know that you can make things happen by manifesting, by making things happen, because you're radiating yourself, you're opening up your heart, you know, when I vision that, I literally see myself sometimes unzipping myself so that the heart is more open to what I'm doing, what I'm saying, to, especially because I'm connecting to the heart source, or to the God source, which is also a part of me. Yeah. So, and so these are all things to help others to know that they can also do it, because it's not a secret. It's not something that only I have. We all have it. It's just knowing that it is something that we came here and that we all have the possibility to do. So yeah, it's just a reawakening. Yeah.
It's a very empowering perspective. So thank you for that. Again, for all you who are watching, you can get more detail on each of those modules and the whole program at maorishamanic.wisdom.com. I'll say a few more things about it. So you get not only the 7 live sessions with Grandmother Moetu, which is going to give you a chance to ask questions, engage in practices together, a real sense of community. And since that's really in many ways at the heart of the deeper mahi that is called for right now, it's really a blessing to be able to do it live. In addition, though, if you can't make the live sessions or you want to go back, which I think is really valuable, you'll get recordings of the sessions, both video and audio. You'll also get word-for-word transcripts to go back with and study. There's weekly exercises for home, as well as a Facebook community to really support you in this experience of global community around this work. And you also have some small group time to connect with other participants. On the page, there are a number of extra bonuses that are also we've added to enhance your journey and to complement the core teachings that Grandmother Moetu will be bringing. There's an audio meditation called Embracing Dawn, Daily Ancestral Meditation. That's very intriguing. You want to share a little bit about that, Grandmother Moetu?
It's something that we're still, a lot of what I do it, and then by the time we get to that time, the loved ones will have changed it, or the energy would have changed to. So it's always developing is the best way to put it. When I we'll put it that way.
Sounds
it's a development. Yeah.
Well, it's just one extra bonus and sounds very beautiful and empowering. There's also a weekly journal prompts and I am affirmations is a PDF guide from Grandmother Moetu. And there's a special dialogue between Grandmother Moetu and Grandmother Moetu-Taiha, who we just loved at the Shift Network. And I also said personally love. And so the dialogue between them is called Prayers of the Heart, Sacred Daily Rituals. And I personally can attest that Grandmother Moetu-Taiha is just amazing with her ability to surrender to beautiful prayers moving through her. So a combination of Grandmother Moetu and Grandmother Moetu-Taiha really helping you create prayers of the heart is quite a blessing. Do you want to share anything about that particular bonus, Grandmother Moetu?
Yeah. Once again, it's that ability to go with the flow of feeling, to feel what is happening with us during these times of sharing. So I love when I'm with Moetu-Taiha and we have these times of just going into prayer time, because we're always surprised with what comes up and what comes through. So we both do mahi right on the time, right in the now. So that would be the best way to describe it.
I can certainly always feel it in her presence, and I know the combination of you two must be amazing. So what a great extra bonus that is for folks who sign up right away. So that's our special bonus for registering today by midnight. Prayers of the Heart, Sacred Daily Rituals. So this is really going to be an amazing and beautiful program. It's so clear that there's deep wisdom, heart, community, connection that's going to happen. And I think you're really going to get deeply connected to a very important wisdom tradition that we often don't have access to in the West. So Grandmother Moetu is really excited to bring you into this, and they've kept the investment very accessible. It's just 3 payments of $128, so you can save 10% when you pay in full with one payment of $349. The course starts July 30th and runs Tuesdays at 1 Pacific, 4 Eastern. But even if you can't make the live times, you can still get the full value with the recordings, transcripts, and community as well. And I also encourage you to read through some of the testimonials. I mean, your own experience in the last hour is, you can get a feeling for just how wise and wonderful that Grandmother Moetu is, but there's also some great testimonials from people who have worked with her much more deeply. She's an awesome source of inspiration, amazing at finding our balance within and being the light for the world. No words to express how impactful working with Grandmother Moetu has been. Many very grateful people who have worked with her. So you're really in truly good hands, and you will, I think, receive great blessings if you choose to move forward. So again, it's all laid out in detail at Maori Shamanicwisdom.com, MaoriShamanicWisdom.com. And you get that special bonus with Moetu and Moetu-Taiha if you sign up by midnight tonight. So Grandmother Moetu, we still have a couple minutes. Anything is still on your heart you want to share? And it might be beautiful to just close us out with something in Maori that sort of blesses and seals the space.
While you were talking, the loved ones were saying, it's about now. Everything is about now. We learned what we had to learn, and we're putting it into practice now. So a lot of what we will be doing will be in the now. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to it because the energies are so high, and it's an exciting time. I'm excited to be alive. I'm excited to be sharing what the loved ones share with me. I'm deeply, deeply grateful to the loved ones for opening up this this medium to be able to share with people that out there with all of you. So Stephen, I'm just, my heart is so open is the best word to what can and what is and what will happen in this time, that especially now, because next year I know bigger things will be happening. So I know what we're going to be doing now is actually the part of this wave that we're on to take us into these higher frequency times that we're going into. And of course, Peru is one of the highlights of this time. So I'm excited. I'm excited to be living in this time.
Wonderful. Yeah. Did you want to close us with any sort of a prayer or blessing?
Yeah, I'll sing it. I'll sing it, and it's just a honoring to the gods for being here, and for just for who we are. So he honore, he gloria, mangarongo ki te whenua, Pakaro aie ki nā tangata katoa. Ake amine. Te atua, te perina, toku oranga, toku oranga. Kia ora koutou, kia ora, kia ora, kia ora. Thank you.
Kia ora, kia ora, kia ora, kia ora. Thank you, Grandmother Moetu. What a wonderful, wonderful hour with you. And thank you for teaching this upcoming program. And if folks would like to go further, remember it's MaoriShamanicWisdom.com, and you'll get the special blessing of that bonus with Grandmother Floyd Mayo if you sign up right away today. So thank you so much. Many blessings.